Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And it's our Wednesday show, so it's rankings day. Talking about our ranks today. We posted them up on Instagram on Tuesday, so we got some reaction to that. Me and Jeff will go over some of the players that people maybe think we're low on and some of the other interesting situations for the weekend where we're deciding to rank players after 2 weeks worth of information now. But before we do that, make sure you go check us out on Twitter at the FF Prophet or Instagram, Fantasy Football Prophet, where we will post the ranks every Tuesday, so go check them out there. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/fantasyfootballprophet and subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/fantasyfootballprophet as well. So we're all over those different places. Go follow, subscribe, like, whatever, on all of them if you can. Let's jump into the ranks, Jeff. Find out some of the comments I've had and all this good stuff. So I'm going to start off quarterbacks like we do. First comment I got was, why are you disrespecting Patrick Mahomes? And I didn't really think I was disrespecting him. I put him at number 4. I put Mahomes number 4 this week. I know Mahomes is probably the most interesting player after what he's done the first 2 weeks. So I put him 4. I don't think that's disrespectful. Where'd you end up going with him?
I didn't disrespect him at all. I actually have him number 1.
See, that's fine.
Right. But really, I think there's 6 standout people this week with, who they're playing and how they have been playing. Mahomes is one of them. So at number 4, too, I can already guess. Do you have Aaron Rodgers above him? Tom Brady, kind of the usual suspects. Yep. Yeah. So we just haven't seen Mahomes as much. It wouldn't be that strange to have a little bit of doubt when you're talking about, the best of the best. But I do have him number 1. He's been playing out of his mind. He's playing San Fran,
I put Brady 1, Rodgers 2, Cousins 3.
Yeah, and actually those are my 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, yeah.
So we had the same 4, but I put Mahomes ahead.
You're not going to go wrong with any of these guys up here. You're really not. They're all great. We're saying they're a top 4 guy. It means you play them, most likely, unless you're in that Cousins-Mahomes situation, which there are more than one person that... Actually, there's anybody might have a Rodgers, Mahomes, Cousins, Mahomes, Brady, Mahomes. We had the question last week about Cousins versus Mahomes. It's out there. This might be the time to try to trade one, though. If this is the point where you might be able to get value from a quarterback, which isn't always out there. I would rather not have the headache of trying to figure out who to play and actually get a useful player, but probably only if I get a starter. I need a starter, though.
Right, absolutely. That's a good question, though. Out of those 2, who would you keep?
That's where you have to decide, and I don't know.
That's rough.
The way Mahomes has been playing, I feel like, man, I like them both. I want Cousins personally.
Yeah, that's a very difficult one for me.
They both have good players around them.
I don't think you can go wrong.
Maybe it's who you can get them, maybe who you're looking to trade with if they want one or the other. I just say go for it and get good value from them.
Yeah, and I think you can get more out of Mahomes right now because of all the heat behind him.
Yep.
So, maybe that would be the way to go.
Yep. Yeah, so I think Mahomes has much better trade value. So
who rounds out your 5th spot then?
I put Drew Brees there. It's more of he's solid. So he's solid.
All right.
Nothing special.
I have to ask. I have Ben Roethlisberger in my 5th spot, but where does Ryan Fitzpatrick come? Let's just jump around because
he's 9th.
Oh, okay, so he's still up there.
He is. That's a top 10 guy, which I never thought I'd put Ryan Fitzpatrick in the top 10, and I did. He's been so good though for the first 2 weeks. How can you not? You might get burned on it this week, but Pittsburgh just gave up. Look what they just did to Mahomes. It's Pittsburgh. It's perfect matchup after 2 great weeks. And I don't think you can go wrong. I would start him over Russell Wilson, Stafford, those kind of guys. I'm starting him over them this week. He's just been that good. And he might actually have better weapons than a lot of players. Evans and Jackson and Godwin, O.J. Howard. We liked those players last year with Jameis, and Jameis never could put it together. We thought Tampa was going to be good, and we thought Jameis was going to be good because of the weapons around him. Fitzpatrick's finally getting to use them. So I think he is going to be this good.
Yeah, and I have him at 6th. I think that Pittsburgh-Tampa Bay game is going to be a shootout. I have both of them. I have them back-to-back. 5th and 6th. I have Ben and then Fitzpatrick.
Okay, up at 6, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, why not? He's been that good. At this point, it's almost like he has to prove you wrong that he's not good.
Yeah, and really, he's always been decent when he's played, but Winston has always had a chokehold on that, or he's coming in and he's a backup situation. But yeah, the way he's going, even if he has a slight downturn, he's still going to be in the top 10. So I don't think there's a whole lot of risk at the moment. Pittsburgh hasn't shown me enough that they can stop people.
No, and I think Jameis might have lost his job. I really do at this point.
Yeah, especially if he can't get his stuff together, man.
Yep. So we have a couple comments here. One says, for me, Wentz ? And the other says, don't disrespect Carson ever again.
Where do you have Wentz going?
I have him 15th.
Oh, okay.
The guy hasn't played in the preseason. He's coming off an ACL injury. He has a bunch of rust to shake off. There's no guarantee he just steps in there and can just be a top 10 guy right away. Let's see it for a week. Let's let him prove us wrong and be good. I don't necessarily... You might not need to take that risk to play him. But if you don't have a good option, yeah, play him. Fine. But if you don't need to if you don't need to play him and you've had other guys playing ahead of him in the last 2 weeks and they've been fine, don't worry about it. But what are you going to do? You have Wentz, right?
I do have Wentz.
And you have Goff.
That's interesting because I was actually just about to call myself a hypocrite a little bit because I do have Wentz ranked number 12. He's going against Indy. My big thing is I don't know what kind of shape he's in. If I knew that he was absolutely healthy and he was going to move the way you need to move in that offense, I think he'll put up numbers. But Goff is definitely safer. So even though I think Wentz has a chance to put up more points, I still might go Goff just because of the team I have. And I know that as long as my QB doesn't implode, I'm good. But that's actually a difficult one for me. So I have Goff at 17. I have Wentz at 12. So 5 spots in between them is no small thing. I just don't know. And I think this one I'm going to really feel out. And by the time it hits Thursday, I'll have a better idea. But currently, that's where I'm going.
It's crazy that we've come to this point where all these questions I'm getting are, should I start Brady or Mahomes? Rodgers or Mahomes? That's nuts. Who would have thought that would happen that quick? But, I mean, you're truly going to start Patrick Mahomes if you have him over Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers this week, right?
I would. And the only reason Aaron Rodgers is not number 1 is because of his injury. And you saw it a little bit last week. I'm just a little hesitant on that. But otherwise, Aaron Rodgers is always number 1 in my book. But I think Tom Brady is, he will move in and out of that, up and down that top 5. Mm-hmm. But it's Tom Brady. It's very difficult to put him on the bench if you have Mahomes.
And really, the rest of the quarterbacks, it's just matchup based if they're further down for me this week. I like a lot of guys, almost through 20. You can really go deep with the players. And so if you have a guy who might have a bad matchup, I think you still start him. But I lowered Rivers, I think lower than you did this week, just because that Rams defense has been pretty solid. But it's not like I don't like Rivers. I like him.
How low did you go on him?
16th.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, and I'm higher than consensus.
Wow, really?
He's down at 18 consensus wise. That Rams defense has been tough, man.
Oh, it's been really tough, but I think that is
I don't know.
still crazy.
There's a lot of other guys ahead of him that have good matchups, though. That's why players like Jimmy Garoppolo jumps him because Jimmy's going against Kansas City, who hasn't had any kind of pass defense yet.
No, but Garoppolo hasn't really shown a whole lot either, though.
I'd still play him over. I'd play him over Rivers this week.
I'd go Rivers, man. I mean, I have Rivers at 10.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. I know Rivers sometimes he can have bad games, and the Rams I think might do that to him.
I mean, very true, but man, I dropped him down to 10 because of the Rams.
And you're still 8 spots higher than consensus.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
crazy.
You are way
I just
up
have
there.
a hard time believing Garoppolo hasn't showed up. Stafford in Detroit has looked very weak.
Stafford had a good fantasy game last week. So.
Yeah, he pulled it out, but he still didn't look good doing it. Russell Wilson even, that team looks like they're in a little disarray. And all of them turned out fine, but Phillip Rivers has been killing it. I just have a hard time to take him out over those guys that have been struggling.
We'll see if you end up
I know. I mean,
being right and everyone else is wrong.
That's difficult.
Yeah, see if there's there's not a lot of other. You are down on Garoppolo compared to the rest. You're down on Matt Ryan compared to the rest, but
yeah,
I understand that completely. It's not a big deal. So move over to running backs because quarterback is what it is. Don't need to talk about it for too much more. Mahomes and Fitzpatrick were the most interesting players of the week, and I went Gurley number 1 again this week. It's Gurley. He's going to score touchdowns. So I went Gurley, Kamara, Zeke, Melvin Gordon as my top 4, and Barkley rounded out my top 5.
And I have Gurley, Kamara, Elliott, Gordon, and Barkley.
Same thing.
Rounding out my top 5 as well.
So we went with the same exact top 5 there. I think those are great players. The only difference is for us, the top 4 is the top 4 consensus right now. Number 5 consensus player is James Conner going against Tampa. I dropped him to 7th.
I have him 6th.
Yeah. I did put Fournette up at 6th. I think he's going to be back, and I think he's going to play. But no one, it can easily drop. It's Wednesday.
Yeah. And I have him at 10 right now. I'm just kind of, he's going to be in the top 10 no matter what, but I have no idea what that injury looks like.
Yeah. And the other players, I got Dalvin Cook up there, Kareem Hunt.
Where do you have David Johnson?
I have David Johnson, number 11 this week. That offense has just been terrible.
It's been so bad.
It's still a starter, but I'm just not ranking him up there anymore. That offense has been bad. He's going against Chicago, who's been really good defensively. I just don't see it bouncing back this week.
I have a hard time. I mean, honestly, though, if you had these other guys, I would have a very hard time not playing David Johnson. So I have him at 7. He might move down a little bit because Chicago has been really, really good, but I just can't imagine a world where they don't just force feed him the ball right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That one's very difficult for me because it's kind of like talent over how bad your team is struggling.
Another player I'm interested in is Giovani Bernard. Where'd you put Gio this week?
I have him all the way up at 14th.
Okay, I put him 20, but that's still RB2. You still play him. I don't think there's going to... He's a good player. I've always thought he's a good player. I don't think he's as good as Joe Mixon, but he's still a really good player, and he can be perfectly startable. If you lost Mixon, you just throw Gio in there.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he takes over both positions, if you will. So if he takes over Mixon, and maybe he doesn't get quite as many yards or whatever it may be, but I still think he's going to be the pass-catching back as well. I think between those two, he becomes a true primary back, and I think overall he gets quite a few points that way. And the guys I have behind him are either banged up or I just don't necessarily trust them to, have a crack at the end zone or really, is he going to get more than, 12, 15 touches?
I had a question here. It came through on Instagram asking, is it time to move on from Dalvin Cook?
No. What?
Exactly, right?
No, absolutely not. I completely understand your frustration because he is talented and they're not using him quite a bit. Buffalo is going to be a different game. I guarantee they run the ball more because they're going to get up very, very quickly. I think we're going to see him be the true number 1. He's going to be fine. They're working him in. They're kind of being slow with him, and that passing offense is very good. So just give it another game or so. You'll be fine.
Another comment came through, asked, why do you have McCaffrey so low?
Where do you have him?
10th.
Wow, really? I'm 12th.
Some people just get really in love with their players, don't they? Right. I like McCaffrey a lot. This is standard scoring ranks, too.
Yeah. I was going to say, if it's PPR, I completely understand that, but standard.
Yeah, because
that should answer that.
PPR, like Barkley had 14 catches last week. He might even move up even more for me. And okay, another good player, Matt Breida here. What did you end up deciding to do with him this week?
I have him 19th.
All right, and I have him 21st. I don't know if that's what it's going to be every week. I think there's going to be some Morris weeks, some Breida weeks.
Yeah, and really, once again, what it comes down to me is they're playing KC. I think KC is going to put up a bunch of points. Yeah. Breida's in there when they throw the ball. That's why he's a little higher for me.
Yeah, and I do like him better than Morris. I
do too.
I don't know 100% what to expect. Okay, another player that is on everyone's minds, and I don't even know what you're going to do with him, is Aaron Jones. Because we're telling people to pick him up, but where would you rank him this week? It's the first week back.
First week back, he's not going to have he's going to have to earn it back. That's what I was saying. You throw him on your bench, but you're going to have to wait another couple weeks. I have him at 42.
I actually have him much higher than everybody. I have him 31, which still isn't. That's not even necessarily startable. I think we have been, saying he is a ad every week on the waivers. And we are keep saying that, but this is still for future. Not saying... I've always said I think he's going to take over this job and run with it, but might be midway through the season. So you keep him on the bench. I think he might have a better week, though, than some are thinking. I don't think 31's crazy, but a little bit higher than others. I like the guy, though. I really hope it works out. I think he's the best back there. Another player I think we need to talk about is where we ranked him is Phillip Lindsay. Is he a starter? Do you put him in your lineup?
I do, man. I love this guy. I think...
And you were on this before the season.
Yeah.
Really. We should have talked about it more, because I thought about it. We didn't expect this.
No, not this quick. I mean, also I thought they were going to have to figure out Booker and Freeman, and I thought that Lindsey was going to be purely a pass-catching back. but he's getting a ton of running too. So, no, I really like him. I think I put him at 21. I completely trust the guy. I think that he's going to be involved no matter what. I like what he does when the ball's in his hands, and it's Baltimore, which is, I think, just, it's just whatever. So I think he's going to do what he has the past few weeks, and I think he's incredibly safe to have.
Yep. I put him. I did rank him ahead of Royce Freeman. You did the same. I'm assuming then too. I don't know what to expect with the Royce Freeman.
How far apart are they?
They're one after another. 29 and 30. Oh, okay.
29, 30. Okay. I'm higher on both of those.
Yeah.
I'm 21 and 25.
It's still, this is early with Lindsey. He is a small guy. I don't know how much he can hold up, and slightly worried that way, but I don't know.
I'll deal with that when he actually gets hurt.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Why, he's been good, and I don't see that going away. They're going to do it until he can't anymore. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to move over to wide receiver. Talk about the guys here. I put Antonio Brown number 1. I know he missed practice on Monday, but I'm not worried about it. Who cares? Yeah. He's Antonio Brown. He's fine. He got a little upset, it looked like. But my top 5 went Brown, Thomas, Julio, DeAndre Hopkins, and Odell Beckham is my top 5. Which you end up with? I'm
a little bit different. I mean, I do start off with the same 3. So Brown, Thomas, Hopkins, but then I go Tyreek Hill and Julio Jones.
Okay, so Tyreek up there. You're just expecting the big game for Kansas City. I mean, I have Tyreek 6, so it's not like I'm far off. And then let's see. I'll round up my top 10. I had Tyreek with 6. Yeah, Evans 7. I put Stefon Diggs 8 because I love Diggs. He's my guy. He's looking good. Brandon Cooks 9. I put him way up there. I'm higher than other people on Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks has just been good. And I think he's a great player. And AJ's 10, which I got a little hate for having AJ so low at 10 as well. But hey, top 10. I'm saying he's a top 10 guy. That's a startable guy. You're just starting him and not telling you not to not play him. Yeah. I just love Brandon Cooks and Stefon Diggs.
Yeah, and I think both of them are good. You're obviously going to be way higher on both, I assume.
Yep.
But
it's fine. I was on that. I was way higher than them on the preseason ranks. Hey, look how that turned out.
Yeah, and Diggs going against Buffalo could obviously do well. This might be the first time Diggs actually overtakes Thielen in my list. And, I know people might laugh at that, but Thielen has been killing it too. Is no small thing. But to round out my top 10, Mike Evans shows up at number 6. I have Beckham at 7, AJ at 8, Davante Adams at 9, and then I have Diggs at 10. So okay. he cracks my top 10.
Somebody Jeremy asked me, how is Keelan Cole not on this list? Which my list was top 24. So Keelan Cole did not make my top 24. I'm sure you agree with that too, right? Why Keelan Cole doesn't need to be top 24 yet?
No, I agree with you.
I put Keelan Cole 33rd for the week.
Yeah, I have him at 31.
I like Keelan Cole. Yeah, but there isn't enough of a track record yet. He's getting there though. It's definitely getting there. I still think I like Dede a lot too. But Keelan Cole is getting there. He just needs to prove a little bit more to me. Oh, another guy, DeSean Jackson. What did we do with DeSean Jackson?
Yeah, believe me, I do not think I can trust this guy all year, and I know I will get hate for saying that, but he does crack he's number 30 for me, which is pretty good. I mean, he's going against Pittsburgh, so I think they have a good matchup. But once again, you have 2 games of this, so you kind of know what DeSean Jackson and Fitzpatrick is going to do. Maybe they can help, hold him out. I don't know. If he has another really good game, then he'll probably continue to move up. But everyone above him, once again, more proven, more consistent, usually the number 1s on their team. And I also, I have Mike Evans at number 6. So I'm expecting them to do well.
Yeah, and I have DeSean Jackson 29th this week. Hey, if Fitzpatrick's the quarterback, I think it's going to be really good for DeSean Jackson. They just seem to have a connection. And Fitzpatrick's just throwing the ball up. They can't run it right now. Peyton Barber, not great. And who knows, maybe Ronald Jones plays this week. Maybe he's better. I don't know yet, but Peyton Barber hasn't been good. They can't really run it. They're just going to toss the ball up. DeSean Jackson's going to get some catches. I'm kind of becoming a DeSean Jackson fan. I used to be. I always was. He's just so boom or bust for fantasy. You just never know what to do with him. But if he gets one more week of this, we're really going to have to put him up there.
Yeah, I mean, he's moving up my rankings. I mean, right now you're in the top 30, so you will be starting pretty much almost every team that someone has. Maybe not, but you'd be close. At least flex worthy.
Yep. And then Sammy Watkins. I'm curious. Are you buying into this Sammy Watkins after 1 week?
Yeah, I am. I mean, as much as you can. I have him 27. So, it's kind of one of those, like, I'm going to put the talented guy that has shown me that he's starting to put it together with the young QB. They've been scoring a lot of points, so there's going to be a lot of, wealth to go around. And I like him better than, you have, like, who do I have behind him? Galladay, Anunwa, DeSean, Keelan Cole, Cobb, Goodwin. It's more about the possibility. I think he has more chance to score to get those yards. So, yeah, I like him.
If he keeps playing, if that offense keeps going the way it is, I mean, what's not to like about that offense? He's gonna be a benefit of that.
Exactly. And once again, I think that it's gonna be another shootout.
All right, how about finish it off with tight ends? Again, there's not much movement here. There really isn't. The top guys are still the top guys for me. It's basically Gronk, Kelsey, Ertz, Reed, Graham. Those are my top 5. And I think those are the top 5 guys right now. I just think so. That's it. I have George Kittle 6. I still believe in him even after a bad week. I think he's good. It's going to happen at tight end. You're never going to have unless you have, even Gronk did it last week. Kelsey did it week 1. No one's going to be perfect at tight end position for sure.
Round out your top 10 though, because is there anything surprising? Because there are a lot of guys that moved up in mine.
Not really yet. I have Kyle Rudolph, Evan Ingram, Trey Burton, Jack Doyle. OJ Howard's 11th for me.
Yeah, finally. OJ Howard. I like it though. Man, where do you have Jesse James and Will Dissly? Those two guys shot up in my ranks.
I have Jesse James 15. Dissly's 21st. I'm not buying it yet.
Not buying it?
No.
Oh man,
he's not even getting he's not the every down tight end either. He's got a couple big plays, but
I know. I think he is almost worthwhile comparatively though, because a lot of these other tight ends haven't been doing a whole lot. So I'm buying in for this week. I'm going to find out if he's a guy. Also, this is before, Baldwin comes back or whatever we may find out about that, because Lockett is really the only wide receiver that has stood out. So I think that they're looking for more pass catchers.
Yeah, with Dissly though, he's only had 3 catches each game. He needs more than that for me.
I know, but really for other tight ends, 3 is fine.
Nah,
I mean, it's sad to say, but it really is. Even where do you have Eifert or?
I have Eifert 17th.
Okay. So you're not buying into that one either quite yet.
No, and I mean, Nick Vannett also caught 3 passes last game. So there's no, just Dissly's the one who caught that late garbage time touchdown. Without that, that's a nothing game. Yeah. He had 2 catches on that final drive. Before that final drive with a minute and a half left, he had 1 catch. That's it. 1 catch in the entire game until the final drive.
True. But
I'm not buying it at all.
No, but
not even slightly.
At the same time,
he's a blocking tight end. I'm not buying it even not even a little bit.
At the same time, that's how Russell Wilson scores the majority of his points too. He's a fourth quarter comeback guy.
I'm not even slightly buying it.
I think
really anybody who picks him up it's a foolish thing to do.
I'd be surprised.
I don't know why I'm going against Will Dissly.
I do. I'm kind of excited to see what happens because they need him so badly. And that first game too, Denver, 3 catches for 105 yards. I know, even if you take away the touchdowns, even just yardage, he's a fine play. And it's sad to say. I assume you have Njoku and all of those guys over him.
Oh yeah,
but once again, I feel like it's the same kind of, who's going to catch the touchdown is pretty much what the gamble becomes.
But really, he really only had 1 catch for 6 yards before that final drive. I'm just nothing about that I'm buying. Just, it's it. He would have been an afterthought. So, I don't buy it. He needs to prove me wrong.
Here's a question. What do you think about Burton? Even more so, that's worrisome because, really, he scored on a pitch, pretty much. It was like a 3-yard. It was a shovel pass, really. And 1 catch against Green Bay in the first week, 4 in the second, but only for 20 yards.
Yeah, there's a little bit of worry there, for sure. Yeah. I think there's a little bit more upside yet, but if he doesn't do anything this week, he's probably gonna drop quite a bit.
And also, the other guy I have to ask you about, Doyle versus Ebron. What are your thoughts about that?
I have Doyle right now ahead. I have Doyle 10th, Ebron 14th. I think Doyle's just going to continue to get probably more targets, more playing time. Ebron, though, might get more touchdowns. It's kind of an interesting interesting thing. I mean, Doyle had a bad game this game, but he was 7 for 60 week 1. So I'm still think he's going to be the main target there. But Ebron's going to catch touchdowns. So it's just this weird. It's a weird dynamic.
Yeah, it is. It's strange, and I almost think they hurt each other.
Yeah,
and I think I would rather have Ebron because of the touchdown upside, especially. This is after 2 games, so it's very difficult to tell. But Ebron, 4 catches and then 3 catches. So, I mean, that's fine, right? That's kind of healthy, especially once you can be red zone.
Is it healthy?
I mean, I don't have him
it's Eric Ebron.
I don't have him ranked very high, but I mean,
it's Eric Ebron.
I just can't. I don't know. I have a hard time saying that Doyle is a better pick.
I think he's just safer. Ebron's going to be completely touchdown upside. I think Doyle's, last week aside, I think he's going to be better. 7 for 60 the first week. That's what I'm expecting more often from Doyle. And you are way down on the consensus on Doyle. You're just not even.
No, yeah, I don't like playing Doyle because I think he has very little upside.
And you are way up on Disley. Whoa.
Yeah, I put Disley at 11.
Oh, jeez.
Well, honestly, when you get this low, and hopefully you have one of these other guys, when you get this low, I would rather go for hot hand or for the high upside.
1 for 8 this week for Disley.
Quite possibly. Like 100%. But I still like him. Like the other guys were so, I mean, really, they struggled so badly.
It's true. Tight end position has not been good this year.
And another guy that did start jumping up my rankings is Jake Butt. He makes the top 20. He's number 20. Really like where this kid is going. I think he's a watchable guy.
He was 22nd for me. He's starting to move up a little bit. He's better than Will Disley. So.
We found some common ground.
better than Will Disley, I think. I should rank him ahead of him. All right, that'll do it for ranks. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have some more of your trade questions, flex start questions, all that good stuff. We get some point spread picks, which maybe we'll improve on. We'll go over that tomorrow. Talk to you guys then.